So a common problem that indie folks hit when working in their side project or even their main indie app is how do they market that app? We haven't got the big budgets of the massive companies,
Yeah.
but you've got to reach out and find sales and find users and find an audience starting from zero. What tips do you have for that?
My number one tip is Twitter. Honestly, what I did when I launched Reread 2 is my main audience, right, for Reread 2 at the time when I was thinking, I was like, okay, my main audience is like parents, librarians, teachers. And so I looked at what the conversations were on Twitter and the different hashtags around education, around diversity in literature. And I kind of made lists, like private lists of all the kind of different accounts and things that I saw that were having these type of conversations. And I realized that the librarian community was really large on Twitter and they would have really robust conversations. And so when Reread 2 came out, I tweeted them, right? I tweeted them, hey, there's a new app that you might be interested in that came out that I've developed, around diversity in literature, check it out. And the library community really helped me, get it out there and market it. And then after that, I definitely was luckily enough to have some press. So some people caught on that Reread 2 was released, and I got some articles in the press, which really helped. But even if you don't have articles in the press, I think what I mentioned here is what is your audience for your app, right? Think about your audience for your app and thinking about kind of what conversations may be happening online about the problem that you're trying to solve with your app, and how can you reach those conversations, be a part of those conversations, and reach those people who could potentially be interested in using your app. And I think reaching out to those people could go a long way, because word of mouth surprisingly can go a long way when it comes to marketing, especially with indie apps.
Right. And actually, the app has received a lot of recognition, hasn't it? It's done very, very well for itself.
Yeah, I mean, I could not have imagined where Reread 2 has gone. But in 2018, I was featured in the App Store for the first time, and that was an incredible dream come true. As an iOS developer, a really really great experience, and that feature definitely bumped it up a lot, and other features that I had on different kind of publication sites as well. And I really am appreciative and grateful for all of the, press and highlights that Reread 2 has gotten. And it's a free resource, right? And it will always be a free resource. And so I'm hoping it can reach as many people as possible so that folks can find these type of books and expose young people to these type of books. And that's really the point of the app. I think it's a bit different, if you're an indie developer and you're making your living off of your apps and your side projects, right? It's definitely going to be a bit different, how you approach marketing. You may want to invest more in ads and things like that because you're making a living off of this. So it's a bit different for Reread 2, but I think it can go a long way if you actually reach out to your audience one-on-one and talk to people. I think that's one thing that's really important for us as developers to do is talk to the people who are using our app. I think it could be easy to make assumptions about what your audience wants or, what they need. When I first released Reread 2, right, I had said that there was only two categories, children and young adult, because that's kind of how my mind perceived those categories.
Yeah.
And then after talking to librarians and teachers and parents, they were like, actually, no, this is too broad. I actually need you to split out children's. I need to know what are the picture books, what are the chapter books, what are the middle grade books, right, for the kids of the different ages. But I didn't think of that, and I wouldn't have known that unless I actually talked to the people who are using the app. And so making sure you're talking to your audience to see what they really need from you and from the app versus just making those assumptions, and talking to them and actually taking their feedback into account can go a long way and really help your app expand even more.
Certainly, I found that teachers have obviously the remarkable ear to the ground when they're doing this thing every day with kids
Yeah.
year in, year out, often a range of year groups and ages. They are the absolute subject matter experts for so many educational apps. And they're also super keen to support somebody else, to help out and provide feedback and provide ideas and provide testing and more. I've had some wonderful feedback from teachers saying, hey, have you considered this or this, or try this, or here's some stuff, please use it. Because they are already
Yeah.
obviously working very, very hard, just teaching, just trying to keep their actual job going and educating these children to the best ability they can. To then go and say they also make an iPad app or an iOS app is challenging. So for folks like you who
Yeah.
can say, I'm going to make you all those things you need, all those books you wanted, I can put them in this free app. Everyone benefits. I get nothing from it. It's all pro bono. And it's a big win
Yep.
for the whole community.
Yeah. Honestly, like I think I would love for, iOS developers to get out there and talk to different people in their community besides just developers, because you never know how like simple app that may take you a week or two to make could really help someone or help a person in the community, especially if you're a more advanced developer. And if you're a beginner developer, going out in your community and talking to teachers or librarians or owners, or those folks may need the technology, and obviously, like we talked about, they might not have the capacity to build that themselves. And so you as a developer, you may be able to help someone out in your community or help a group of people out in your community who could use a resource, a technology resource. And especially as a beginner, it might be able to give you that idea to launch your first app.